I think that we've got to be honest. Among Hispanic men and black men, there's a lot of misogyny. And I think that we've got to deal with the reality.
And this is exactly what we've been talking about for a long time. The Democrat Party has still yet to learn their lessons from what happened to Kamala Harris on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Al Sharpton is literally sitting here saying that there's a lot of misogyny amongst black men and Latino men because we did not vote for the so-called first black woman president. First of all, Kamala Harris is not black. We've already debunked that billions of times. We should stop calling her black because she's not. And number two, black men and Hispanic men, any man that did not vote for Kamala Harris is not misogynistic. When you don't play by the rules of the Democrat Party, they got a label to put on you. Oh, if you don't want men and women's sports, you're transphobic. If you don't want a woman president, or if you didn't want to vote for Kamala, you're a misogynist, right? If you're white and you didn't want to vote for Kamala, you're racist. You see what I'm saying? That's why y'all gonna continue to lose elections, because y'all want to shame people instead of looking at the core issue as to why Kamala Harris got destroyed the other night.
I think also what we've got to deal with, you're correct when you say the economy was weighed on a lot of the voters around the country, and a distorted view of the economy. Let's remember, Donald Trump is a expert promoter, and he was able to get a lot of myths across the table that really were not true. But it was not well promoted on the other side. I think that we also have to deal with the issue of race and gender. There was a lot of gender bias in this. There was a lot of race bias in this. And I think that we thought a lot of voters were more progressive in those areas than they were. When you have the Dobbs decision, and you see this kind of vote anyway with the person that put the 3 justices on the Supreme Court, you have to ask yourself, are we fooling ourselves saying that Americans are further down the road toward dealing with gender bias and race bias than we thought? So I would say this, though. Donald Trump, I've known a long time, he will self-destruct. The problem that I see is not Trump. The problem is that those that can be appealed to in this way, and how we've got to bring this country together. And we cannot do it by being like January 6th ourselves. There would not be a January 6th on our side. We will deal with this in a dignified way and try to put the pieces together. So we've lost, but we lost a battle. The war is not over.
Well, Rev, let's talk about, you talked about gender and race. Let's talk about race. Donald Trump fared very well with Hispanic voters, especially Hispanic men. The numbers are coming in still a little early, but I think he did better with black men than was expected in the past. What do you think pushed that, especially with the Hispanic voters going for Donald Trump as much as they did? Because that made a big difference.
I think that a lot of it was he was able to sell a lot of Hispanic voters that immigration was a threat to them, that some of the people coming across the border was a threat to them. I think that we've got to be honest. Among Hispanic men and black men, there's a lot of misogyny. And I think that we've got to deal with the reality that he appealed to this whole false macho thing that some black men and some Latino men went for. I think that we cannot sit around just bedwetting. We've got to deal with the reality, and we've got to deal with the situation as it is in our own communities.
The so-called Reverend does not get it. You don't get it, bro. Misogyny is a word that gets thrown around way too much. Okay, and this is a man that's well into his 60s. I think he's close to 70 years old. I don't know how old he is exactly, but Al Sharpton is one of the biggest race hustlers on the planet. Every time you hear him talk, he's talking about, something regarding race. And now he's going into the whole misogyny, trope. Well, black men, we gave Trump about 25% of our vote, according to Fox News. And I'm going to put up the slide in a minute. According to the Fox News exit poll, Trump got about 25% of black male voters. He got about 47%, let's just say 50% of Hispanic male voters. So Hispanic men and black men did show up in historic ways for Trump that we haven't in years past, elections past. But let's not forget that black people only make up about 13 to 14% of the population. Hispanics are about 20% of the population or so. So altogether, black men and Hispanic men cannot win Trump the election on our own. It took white people to help get Trump over the top as well. The majority of white men and white women voted for Trump. And then we add in the black vote and the Hispanic vote that went for Trump. It pushed him over the top in a major way, especially in certain states that were kind of close, like my home state of Georgia. I think Pennsylvania, there was also 20% plus. Georgia, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Arizona, the black male vote was over 20% for Donald Trump. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud that black men stepped up. Those of us that voted. A lot of black men stayed home. And then when it came to the Hispanic community, I don't know which state had the highest percentage of Hispanic voters vote for Trump. I think Texas was at 55%. Texas might have been the number one state for Hispanic support because illegal immigration is hurting them too. Don't forget that Kamala Harris was a bad candidate. Don't forget that the Democrat Party took democracy away from their voters. The Democrat Party did not let the Democrats choose their own candidate. They said, we're going to install Kamala and y'all going to just have to deal with it. This is who the Democrat nominee is going to be. And they say the Republicans and Donald Trump are a threat to democracy. But in reality, you are a threat to your own democracy because you didn't even allow the democratic process to play out to support who the people wanted on the Democrat side of the aisle. That's just an incontrovertible fact. The Democrat Party, the DNC, literally gave y'all Kamala Harris, whether you wanted her or not, because they had to install the black woman. The black woman had to get in there, not the best person for the job. And Kamala Harris came off as very inauthentic. She came off as a liar. She came off as a phony. She brought out Meg Thee Stallion. She brought out Cardi B. She brought out Quavo. All these entertainers, Beyonce, Kelly Rowland dressed like a doggone man. And the American people said, nah, we good on that. We good on all the degeneracy from the Democrat Party. She ran her campaign on abortion. We're tired of all the LGBT extremism. Boys and girls sports, drag queen story time. The list goes on. We're tired of it, bro. We're tired of it. And this is why Kamala Harris lost the way she did. She lost because she was a bad candidate. She lost because the Democrat Party has lost their way. She lost because the economy sucks. Thousands of workers are getting laid off. Nissan just put out a report. They're about to lay off 9,000 workers. Stellantis, Audi, they're all about to lay off thousands of workers. People can't afford their homes. People can't afford to pay their rent. People can't afford their car notes. Car repossessions are up. Foreclosures are up. Loans are being defaulted on. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. The list goes on. So, Al Sharpton and the Democrat Party are going to continue to lose elections because they continue to disrespect the voters. They continue to insult men. They continue to insult anybody that does not bow down and tap dance for their agenda. And if this type of rhetoric, if this type of energy continues from that party, 2028 is going to be a repeat of 2024. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, follow. Peace.